Hello everybody, Tiffany here. Welcome to my quilting life. Hopefully you can hear me. Today's Sunday, Sew Sunday, where I inspire you to sew on a Sunday or any day of the week. As long as you are inspired to break out that sewing machine and get something done. Anyway, I am trying to make sure that the chat thing don't jump on me. All right, let's see who's here. We got Moldy Lasagna, Carol B, Sheila, Evelyn, Wendy, Pam, Ann, Vicky, Mary, Lori, Deborah, Delia, still scrolling, Cheryl, Melena. Oh my goodness, now it really jumped. Judy, Cora, Geraldine, Heather, Teresa, Marie, Catitude, Becky, Paula, and Tracy, Rowena, Jazzy, Mary, Karen, Robin, Bonnie. Hello, and if I missed your name, welcome. As soon as it starts like super jumping, then that's when I just like, yeah. So today is Sunday. The first thing I'm going to do is open a piece of mail and then show you what I got at the thrift store. And then we can just start sewing because that's what I got today. The first mail, Scott bought me a shirt that says, I sew so I don't choke people. Save a life, send fabric. And it's got a kitty at the sewing machine. So I got a new shirt from Scott. And now, let's open the mail. Thanks for inspiring not just myself, but so many. So Delia sent, ooh, it's a fabric postcard. Well, it feels like a fabric postcard. Quilting life is what it says on it. Isn't that adorable? I like it. It's embroidered with the embroidery that you add fabric to. See, that's what I have not tried yet. I like it though. What do you guys think? Isn't that adorable? So thank you. I'll just leave it out and put it over here.
I love your shirt. Tell them the stories of your shirt real quick.
What's the stories of my shirt?
We got me a shirt too, but mine came 2 sizes too small, so you got 2 shirts.
Technically, I got 2 shirts because Scott ordered himself a shirt too, a Punisher shirt, and it was 2 sizes too small for him. That's what we get for ordering on those websites that have not our sizes on it. So, yeah, so mine fit and his fit me as well. So I got 2 shirts. So I have a Punisher shirt to wear. All right, so I did go to the thrift store, and I'm going to show you my favorite fabric first because it's the only one I unrolled. So every once in a while, I go thrift store shopping with Alexa, my oldest daughter, and we're not going to be able to do that for a while because she's moving away this week, literally. On Thursday morning at 4 in the morning, she's out of here. But yeah, we went to the hospice thrift store, which last time I went there, they had a ton of fabric, but I held it and didn't buy any. This time, they had just a little bit of fabric, so I bought all the little bit of fabric they had. So this is my favorite, and I've been showing the kids because, you know, my kids have been in and out today. Look at this. It is a Zombie by D. Leon Design Group by the Alexander Henry Fabrics Collection. It has zombies. Look at that. Isn't that super cute? I'm going to make some bags out of this zombie fabric because it is freaking awesome. I love it. So there's like 1.5 yards here because I had to open it up and look. And I only paid $2 for it because it came from the thrift store. So I got that. And then I got, for $1, I got this one. It says it's 44 by 36, so it's 1 yard of bat fabric. Since Halloween is coming up, I got some bat fabric, green bats on it. to see if they're measuring correctly. Yep, 1 yard. Look at that. And who is this by? It does not say. It's by whoever designs Halloween fabric. Then there's this I paid $2 for. It says it's 1 yard by 37 wide. So has it been chopped? It's been chopped. So here is an Andover print called 1001 Peeps by Lindsay House. So it's the selvage end is cut off, but isn't that cool? No, I don't think it glows. I don't think the bats glow. It looks like it would glow, but I don't think it does. And then I got this. It says it's 45 inches by I don't know what for $2. This is a batik. This was the only batik that they had in there. So it's a teal with yellow X-type looking circle things on it, which I will use it no matter what it is. I will find somehow to use it. Then there's this that says it's 2 yards, but it's 22 inches wide. I paid $2 for it. I think that was like the going thing for all the fabric. This is New Orleans, Leans, by Jean Ann Wright for Newcastle Fabrics. So it's a purple. I like this. I figured I could make some bags out of this. And it looks like it is 2 yards because it's folded in half. There's more. So there's that one. This one I got says 22 inches of 2 yards for $1.50. This one is Del Parso Maidenhair Legacy Studio. So there's that. And that is 1 yard of fabric salvage. I don't know why they are saying what they're saying on the tags. It's not cut into or anything. It's got the salvage on both ends. Then I got this that says it's 3 yards, 22 inches wide. It is a rainbow stripe. Let's see. Look at that. Yeah, it's definitely cut. So there's only salvage on. Oh, there's salvage on 2 sides. So yeah, doesn't look like quite 2 yards. Let's see. 1, 2. And not a half. So that means it's almost 3 yards, and it doesn't have some holes in it right here. But that's okay. I could cut around it. So there's that rainbow fabric that I got.
When are you going to work on the Bernie UFO?
Bernie UFO. I don't know what that is either. And then I got this. It says it's 35 inches wide by 3 yards, but it doesn't look like it. It's definitely been cut into or washed because it's got washed edges.
Okay, because she won the 30K giveaway.
Patty, it's because you won the 30K giveaway if you received something.
Yeah, she got 2 bowl cozies.
Oh, yeah.
She says thank you.
Yep, so here is it's like a yellowish cream. It looks like grunge, but it's not. It's one of those off-brand ones that looks like grunge, but it's not. It's just a grungy type fabric. So that's everything that I got. Yeah, this was a wide back. It most likely came from Marshall Dry Goods. It kind of looks exactly like the stuff Marshall Dry Goods has. So that's what I got. That's my little thrift store haul. I'm just going to toss that out of my way and put all this in the garbage. And there is a kitty cat who wants his 2 seconds of fame. Say hi, Dumpy. Say hi. He's like, yeah, I'm not saying hi. What, you just not into it today? You want to go be lazy? All right, so today we're going to be...
Got my other shirt on, though.
He has his Iron Man shirt on. Today we're going to be working on snail trail blocks. So under the desk here, I have tons of stuff, unfinished projects and so on. And this is where I keep my, and to keep the dust off of it because it's black, I put a piece of fabric over it. This is where I keep my snail trail blocks. So if you don't know, that's what a snail trail block is. These are 6.5 unfinished. Yep. 6.5 inch unfinished blocks. And I'm technically making a snails at sea quilt with all these pieces that sooner or later I will get them all done. But here is my stack of blocks. So there's like probably 40 here maybe. And I'm going to keep going until I have a lot of them because they're really small. So that's what I'm making. Here's what a boo-boo block looks like. I just need to turn that center piece. I got to cut it out and turn it one turn because that's wrong. But that was from like quite a few videos ago. But this is what I'm going to work on today. Oh, I guess that could just go up there. So all of my pieces are literally on a piece of paper with my size measurement cutouts with the alphabetical letter of the pieces. And they're all just pre-cut for me to make my blocks. My snail trail blocks. So what I do is I take my dumb pieces of paper and I line them up on my desk when I start working on these and fill my desk up and then pull from the piles because I'm mixing the colors up. So I just kind of lay them out here. And then I just need one of each size piece from 2 different colors. And then my...
the camera back a little so they can see all of it?
No, it's fine. They're going to see me lay it out right here. Okay. So that is all of my colors. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Plus the black makes 12 colors in total. And what I do is, since I'm using black as the background for everything, because black looks great. I tell you guys all the time, I don't really ever use white. I do keep a lot of white, and white goes into stuff, but I actually use black and gray more than anything, but black the most. I have a thing for black background quilts. That's just my thing. So I need 2 of every piece for my black, and I could tell you guys all the measurements because these are mine.
So, a special ruler for cutting the pattern?
No, these are all cuts, and I'm going to tell you guys how this works. So for our center pieces, and I will just use this block right here so that you can see, there's center pieces. These are 1.5 inch squares, okay? So technically for each block for your background, because the way I'm doing the color for the snails at sea part, so it looks like it's like waving through. Have you guys ever seen Storm at Sea? It's that. Instead of square and square blocks, it's snail blocks. So it'll make it look like it's waving through. Trust me, it'll look amazing when I'm done. But these are the little squares in the center start out at 1.5 inches. And technically you need 4. So you can do 4 different colors. You could do 2 blacks and 2 colors, or however you would want to do it. They're 1.5 in the center. Then the small triangles, which is the first round around it, those are 2 3/4 inches. No, they're not. Yes, they are. 2 3/4 cut on the diagonal twice. So that's what makes the smaller first round. Then the second round is 2 3/8 inch squares. So that's the second round. 2 3/8 cut on the diagonal once. Then the next size, which is the next border, which is this one, because I'm going to show you how they go together, is 4 1/4. And just think, you need everything in 4s. So if you want to make 4 different blocks with 4 different colors each, then you would cut that. If you just want to make 1 block and 4 different colors, either you're going to get 4 blocks from it, you need 4 of each. You need 2 of each background and 2 of each of your colors, if that makes any sense. And then the last and final go around is 3 7/8 cut on the diagonal once. And I'll show you how this works. So we're going to start with
like a 4 patch in the middle.
Yes, it is a 4 patch in the middle. That's how they start. So I'm going to grab my pieces. So from my black, I'm using 2 1.5 inch squares. And then my next, I'm going to just grab 2 of my smaller 2 3/4 inch, cut in the diagonal twice pieces. They're going to be here and here. And then I'm going to grab 2 pieces, 2 triangles of the 2 3/8 inch. And these are going to be that next round, which is going to go about here and here. And then the 4 1/4 inch cut on the diagonal twice are going to be these, which are going to go about here and here. And then the last ones are the 3 7/8 cut on the diagonal once. I need 2 of those for about here and here. So now I just need to pull 1 of each piece from one color. So I'm just going to pull from this purple because it's right in front of me. We're just going to grab each color size. It's going to go like this, like that, like that. And we're going to mix this purple with this one right here. We're going to grab one of these, one of the small ones, one of the next size up, that, and that, just like that. So all these pieces put together will create a snail trail block, as you can see, laid out right here. These ones I don't get up and press. You can press between every, but I finger press. I had to do this. We're going to start off in the center, right here. We're going to right sides together, and I'm making sure that I'm sewing a 1/4 inch seam. It is highly important to continue with your 1/4 inch seam. The whole entire block or the size of it will vary between blocks if you mess up. So we're going to make a little 4 patch right here. So if you don't like small pieces, this whole thing is using small pieces. If you don't mind the small pieces, then this is the perfect block for you. So I'm just going to finger press to the black. I'm just pressing away towards the black on all of these, just using my finger. So since I chain pieced them together, I can't get them out of order. Just going to put them right sides together, and since it's pressed towards the black, you can see my seams will be nesting. One is going this way, one is going that way, and they lock in the center. It is highly important that they stay the correct size. They don't always for me because I sew crooked, but still. And now I'm just going to finger press that open. But here is my tiny little 4 patch. Like that. I'm going to get rid of this long thread. And now I'm going to place this back where the 4 patch is back in the position I started in. So since it's finger pressed, I got to hold it down so that you can see. So now my black should be touching a black. My black on this side should be touching a black. My color should be touching its matching color, and my purple should be touching the purple. So now we're going to take the black, just one of the small triangles, I'm going to put it right sides together, but how I'm lining this up is the important part. I'm going to put the point of this black triangle on this seam right here. That way I know that that is centered. If you want to fold it and press a little line, you can, but I just line it up with the center. I'm going to finger press this back towards the black, and I'm going to grab that other side, and I'm going to line that one up again on that seam. So the corner is poking at the seam, and I go, oh, that's center. That's where I want it. And if this is confusing, I do have plenty of videos where I've worked on these before in the past. I just haven't done too much, like up close on them. So this is what my piece looks like so far. I'm going to get rid of these dog ears. This is why I just sit here and do this. I'm just going to snip these off right here where I sit. So that way it is nice and flat. And I'm just going to put those down there. And I'm going to put this back where I found it and grab my purple now And again, I'm going to be lining that up with the seam. So I'm going to make sure my point is lining up on the seam, and that way I know I have a 1/4 inch on both sides. So I'm just going to lay this under here, sew it on, just going to finger press it back. I'm going to grab my opposite side, which is my turquoise or like aqua color. I'm going to line that one up on the seam. The point is touching the seam, so I know it's an equal amount on both sides. And then I'm going to finger press it back.
Or does this look advanced?
This is a little bit more advanced, yes. And then I'm going to take and cut off all these little pieces that are sticking out all the way around. I like to cut these off because it keeps the bulk down. I knew that went flying somewhere. And now I have a piece that looks like this. So I'm going to go ahead and place it back where it goes, how it goes. So you can see right here, that's the way I picked them up. Now I'm on to black and black again. So these two opposite sides. So I'm just going to take a black, line it up on here. This time I'm eyeballing the center of the block with the point of my black triangle that is going on here. At this point, I just finger press usually the whole entire block as I'm making it, and then I press them completely flat when I'm done. So that would go back here. The black goes on the opposite side. I center it and sew it on. Oops, stay right there. Talking to the fabric like it listens to me. And now I'm just going to repeat by cutting off the dog ears on both sides, just like that. And now it goes right back where it goes, like that. So now I'm going to add my purple on the purple side and my aqua on the aqua side. Again, I'm just lining up the point with what looks to be the center. So every other round, it's going to line up on the center of the seam of the 4-patch. And then every other one is going to land not in the center of the 4-patch. I always lay, this is a really hard block to chain piece unless you chain piece each section individually, you know, so like say you stacked up a bunch of colors and then chain piece each section, press, come back, add the next for that next part. This is really hard to chain piece, so I just make one block at a time. And since this is a long time UFO, the original quilt I made with all these scraps left over was made like 4 years ago. So I've been working on this for a while, this little side project using all these pieces.
Is this one of your quilts?
Yep. All right, so there is the next round. It's on there. I'm going to put it back the way it goes, which is like this. So now it's sitting square. So now the next round are these and those. So I'm just going to take my black. My black is always touching my black ground. You love how I say that? My black is touching the black. My purple touches the purple. Black on the black. And aqua touching the aqua. So I always start with my background. So this time, this round, those tips or points of the triangle will land on the seam. So you'll know that it's center. I just press it back, grab the opposite side, put it on. Once you get the hang of doing a snail trail block, they actually go pretty quick, but it's getting the hang of it first, especially if you haven't done it in a while like me, you know, I just kind of randomly get to it. So here's the step where I chop off the little dog ears because I like it to be flat. I don't want all that extra bulk inside my block. I place it back and go, oh, that's the way it goes. But the next round. Finger press it back. the opposite side. And on 90% of these, I don't have points at the tips of my snail. It makes it have more of a round effect. So all the points get lost. All right, so there's that so far. And then you would lay it back right here. So I have the black this way, that way. And then purple touches purple, aqua touches aqua, black and black.
You have instructions for this block?
I could write some down and post it in the group.
Well, you're doing them now.
Yeah, this is verbal, but yeah, it's pretty much the best I can do. All right, so I'm sewing my black side on first. Finger press it back. And what I mean about losing points is the tips right here. I pretty much always lose that point. I've made lots and lots of snail trail blocks, and I still always lose that point. No matter what I do. All right, finger press this back. We're going to snip away. And really, I don't need to lay it back down because there's only 2 pieces left. So all I need to do is grab them and put them on the corresponding side. So purple touches purple and aqua will touch aqua. There's one. And here's number 2. And there is a snail block. And then what I always do is I cut away these 4 dog ears that are always left when I'm done. And then it would get pressed. So there is a completed block. So it pretty much makes it spin around. You can do these scrappy. So if you have a ton of scraps and you just want to cut the sizes and make piles and just use like a white background and a ton of scraps for this so that it makes your scrap spin, I would do that. Or you can do light and dark scraps, or however you would want to do it. These are actually really fun, and they go pretty quick, like I said, once you're used to it. So in between every single block, I've been just sweeping away my stuff and then choosing more. I'm going to grab 2 from my background, so 2 squares from my background, 2 small triangles, which are 2 3/4, cut on the diagonal twice. The next ones are 2 3/8, cut on the diagonal twice. Once, and then 4 1/4, cut on the diagonal twice, and 3 7/8, cut on the diagonal once. So I just lay them out. This one will be here, and that one will be there, and then I know that one will be there, and that one will be there. And then I just choose 2 colors. Let's go with this turquoise, small, medium, that should be right here. Sort of, yeah. Oh. All right, so we got that, and we're going to do this with light purple. I am. All right, little guy. He goes there. Then the medium size one goes there. Then the next size one.
What does your shirt say?
Here. My shirt says, I sew so I don't choke people. Save a life, send fabric. Scotty got it for me. All right, so here's my block laid out. I tend to lay them out so that I can always put it back. Although I always remember that the color touches the color and my background touches my background. As long as I remember that, it helps, I guess, to, remember that. So again, I start with my little tiny floor patch.
Marie's going to make these around the Jack Skellington panel.
That works.
That looks like.
That works. That'd be perfect, actually.
He's very excited.
And it creates like a wave when they're put together. Well, let me sew this one first, and I'll show you what a couple of them look like when you just do the snail trails only with no sashing in between, which I'm going to be doing, making square in square cornerstones and a diamond in rectangle sashing. So here's my little 4-patch, both pressed to the black. Once right sides together, they should nest up perfectly. Everything I'm finger pressing, it's working for me. There's no need to iron unless you really absolutely have to. Put it back and go, oh, that's the way it goes. I'm going to add my black first. I always add the background first. Whatever the background color is, that's what I add first. And then add the opposite side. I'm lining up the point on the seam line so that you can make sure that it lands center. Finger press it back. And then cut away the dog ears. Again, I just don't want the bulk there. You can leave it if you want, but I just cut them away. Keep the scissors next to you. All right, so now I'm going to add my color on both sides, the corresponding color with the corresponding color's side. So I don't know, if you're not in the Facebook group, I would say join it. But I posted in the Facebook group last week, my Juki decided to go funky on me. It threw a temper tantrum, and I had to take the darn thing apart so that I could fix it. And turns out the weirdest things happen, and we don't know why. There's no explanation, but I was able to fix it. So I'm sitting here sewing one day. I'm going to tell you how this happened. I'm sewing, and all of a sudden, there was a click sound, and I'm like, oh man, did I lose my thread or whatever? Did the bobbin come out? You know what I mean? I just thought it was something, and I was like, okay. And I went to turn my hand wheel, and I turned it, and then it stopped. It was stuck. I couldn't turn it. I was trying to roll it towards me, so counterclockwise. And I'm turning, and I'm like, what the heck's going on here? So I go to turn it the opposite way, and it turns and continues to turn. But then I come to turn it towards me again, and it doesn't turn again. And I'm thinking to myself, what the heck is wrong with this Juki? So I try to sew, and it goes clink, and you can hear the motor running, but nothing was happening. So I had to take Mr. Juki outside and take it apart. Not only did it get a deep cleaning, but, and you guys, if you've seen my deep cleaning videos, I take my machine mostly apart from the bottom to clean it. But this time, I had to take the side off and the top off because and I don't know how this happens, but things like this randomly happen, my bobbin winder, the notch that holds it open, I guess is the word for it, that holds it open, unclipped itself. So the bobbin winder got engaged and stayed engaged. How it happened, I don't know. Sometimes weird things happen. Everything inside this machine is metal. There's lots and lots of metal in there, so it just randomly happened. Oops, don't move. That my bobbin winder got stuck against the wheel. And there's a pin that holds it there, so when you engage it like this, the pin stops the wheel from turning. When it's done, it pops it out, because it's not you can't wind a bobbin while you're sewing on here, which I wish you could, but it doesn't. So that thing came disengaged and got stuck. So I actually had to take it apart and re-engage the bobbin winder thingy, which was a very easy fix for me. You guys probably would have been like, what the heck is wrong with my machine? I'm so mad. But I was able to fix it. So for those of you that were in the group and you guys saw my post about Mr. Juki being very temperamental, well, that's what happened. I don't know how it happened, but it happened. So it was probably just randomly a fluke. It just moved itself ever so slightly while I was, sewing, and it got itself stuck.
But you figured it
But
out
I
all on your
figured
own,
it out
and you fixed it
all by
yourself,
myself.
without any help from me
Yeah.
or anyone else.
At a shop, they probably would have charged me like $100 to fix it when it was just a simple little fix. But yeah, I was able to do it, and my machine works like brand new again. Plus, it got a super duper since I had everything off, and the side panel and the back panel and everything off the machine. I had it completely apart, so I gave it a really good cleaning. So it's like spick and span in there like a brand spanking new machine. But yeah, I was able to fix my machine. So now it's working properly. I'm just hoping that, because I've been sewing. I know that this sounds weird to say, but even though I've only been quilting for 6 years, I've had this machine since almost the beginning. So I've had this for 6 years. And I used to use it as a mid-arm to quilt with on a frame. So this machine has made hundreds of quilts, and it also quilted hundreds and hundreds of quilts. So this machine has more than your average machine's miles on it. This thing has been through a lot. Like, I didn't even sew that much on when I had my other brothers, and I had like a brother PRS 1100 or whatever. I had one of those. I didn't even sew that much on that. And then my old 1980s brother machine, I sewed on it in the beginning, but pretty much within the first 6 months of, learning to quilt, the Juki came into my life. So it's an amazing machine, and now I know it's easy to fix if something happens. I just forgot to take a little tiny video of how things work when I was in there because I was so frustrated. I was like, what is it? What's going on here? Yeah, when I finally figured it out, I was like, oh, interesting. Didn't know that could happen, but it did. So if your machine ever locks and your hand wheel gets stuck, just know, if it's your Juki, that it could be the bobbin winder disengaged, and that's why it's not spinning toward you. So, and if I lived closer, I would fix it, but obviously I don't. But if it ever happens to you, know that that's what it is. Most likely.
You could open up your own Juki fixing shop.
Yeah, I could fix them.
You know all about them.
Yep, I can solder computery stuff back together in it and everything. I pretty much know how it all works in there.
Tell me you fixed my computer.
Yep, I've fixed computers. I used to love taking VCRs apart. And the big old TVs, I used to take those apart too. I have a thing with taking things apart and seeing how it works. I don't know why. I've just been doing this since I was a little kid. Hey, I want to know how that works. I've always been, is it intuitive?
Yeah.
Yeah, that. I've always been an intuitive kind of person.
How many pieces are in this block?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 pieces per block. That goes like this.
What do you think of the tabletop racks people use their domestic machines to long arm with?
The tabletop thing, the cutie frame, or similar to, because there's other similar ones. Honestly, you guys want my honestly personal opinion on this? I really don't think it's a good setup. That's just my own personal opinion. This Juki, although is a sewing machine, it's a sewing machine. It can sew and it sews great. It was not happy on a frame. It doesn't mind free motion quilting when you're moving the fabric underneath it. And even then I still have issues, but that's just me. It's personal user problems. I just, whatever. But being on a frame, this thing did not like to move over fabric. So whether it be a big Grace frame or a little cutie frame, my personal honest opinion, if you have the money to buy one of those frames for $1,000, you might as well just finance a big long arm, or a 5-foot frame long arm, or a snap hoop frame.
In other words, how did the Juki work as a mid-arm?
I didn't like it as a mid-arm. I was always so frustrated I begged Scott for 2 years with this thing on a frame. I told him, and my work was getting better, obviously, but constant thread breaks, constant this, constant. It was always something just irritating me. And I'd come in the house after 20 minutes of just getting really mad. Be like, Scott, I can't do this. And then after a while, obviously my work started getting even better. So finally, when I said, I actually just need more throat space, that's when we invested in a long arm. But I did not personally like this on a frame that you move over the fabric at all. And on a table, I mean, you're sitting at your kitchen table doing it. I mean, if that's the only space you have, go for it.
Does it also do fancy stitches?
This is a straight stitch only machine. That's what makes it great for quilting. So if you want to sit and free motion quilt, it's great because this is a straight stitch only. You don't got to worry about your fabric getting stuck up underneath the holes that are in the other machines and so on. Or anything like that. This just goes straight. You don't have to worry about it. But if you really want to invest in a frame for a machine, get a machine that goes with a frame, like the Grace 15R or something. You know, get something that's meant for that. This is just for sit down. You know, but get something that's meant to be on a frame to move over the fabric. That's the main thing. All right, next block done. So you can see all these points here. Oh, you can't see in the black, but you can see on the colors. The points are all gone. They disappear every time because I keep with that consistent 1/4 inch. And I don't think I've ever seen a snail trail block that's not missing its points. Honestly, I don't think I have seen one. So there's that. Let's do another colorway. So again, two little outer pieces. And 2 medium-sized pieces, 2 larger-sized pieces. And anything that I have left from making all this, and when I get to my desired amount of blocks, I'm actually going to just make half-square triangles with, because I'm going to have an odd amount of pieces left over. Let's go with this blue. And a dark purple. Yeah, I'm going to have tons of leftover pieces, so I'll just make half-square triangles and stuff with all the scraps. Oops, that's the tiny one. Next size. Next size. And big one right there. We're going to go with the dark purple way over here. So I need one of those. One little guy. One medium, one almost large.
Susan says you have a ghost that messes with your machine.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but let me tell you. But while I was out there, I did make a little video and post it on the insides of a computerized, because while I was in the mood, after I fixed the Juki and did the deep inside clean, I cleaned out the brother as well. And there's a lot, I call it like graphite dust. It's what it feels like. So graphite dust would be like if you took a pencil and scraped it on a piece of paper and kept scraping it and you get this little dust on your finger. That's graphite dust. That's pretty much what it feels like, the dust that builds up on the inside. So on the Juki, it comes to the top, this dusty type stuff that comes from oiling and from the friction of going up and down, up and down, up and down, you know, because it's a high-speed machine. It builds up usually on the foot or in the bobbin case area. On the brother machine or most computerized machine, it kind of expels itself forward. So all that dust comes into the front part of the machine on the insides, and you really don't ever see it on your presser foot or any other place right here. It doesn't get on your fabric or anything, but the Juki, it gets on your fabric. But in here, it doesn't. So I actually had to open that one completely up in half. I split it in half and showed you guys where all the computery stuff is on the inside of a computer machine. And that one got a deep cleaning as well, because I had to get all that dust out of there. That one had way more than the Juki because I don't ever take this apart completely. I only just take the plate off and the bobbin case area to clean it out. This, I always take the bottom off so I'm able to get all that kind of stuff, and I'm always wiping up here on the top. So I never really have to worry about having that little, it's not graphite, obviously. It just feels like graphite dust. But either way, it's cleaned off on both machines.
What's the name of the sashing strips you can buy when doing QAUG?
Quilt as you go.
Sashing strips.
I don't know, but I think you can use bias tape for hooking quilt as you go pieces. I haven't quilt as you go anything since I started, because that's what I was doing when I first started, was a couple quilt as you go type stuff. But I haven't done that since I started quilting.
Are you pressing those seams to the black?
Yeah, I'm pressing them all away from the center. So all the seams, once that first 4 patch is pressed to the darks, everything else is pressed outwards so that the block lays flat. It all presses away from the center. So as you put your piece on, you press it away from the center. Next piece, away from the center. Next piece, away. Always. Every row you add or every round, just press it away from the center. That way it lays flat. And if you want to press your seams open, that's on you. But I wouldn't, because it will be bulkier, I think, and harder. So once this was open, trying to press that open, I think it would be, there'd still be bulk because your original 4 patch, I don't know, I'd just press them back. It works best.
How often should I clean my machine? I've only been sewing for 5 weeks.
I would say a good cleaning once a year. Just cleaning out your bobbin case, you should do after your bobbin area. So opening this up and cleaning in that bobbin area. I would do that after every quilt. But that's just wiping it with, so you take a brush and you get in there and you brush all the bobbin case, or on this kind, you would just take this little cap off. On these machines, it's just it's a plastic plate. I would just pop the plate off and then just take your little brush that your machine comes with and brush it out. Goes on easy, comes off easy. This one, I just pop the plate open and, clean the dust out. I do that with every quilt, every time I make a quilt. And then I thoroughly deep clean once a year, and every 6 months I give it a good blowout, which is compressed air from an air compressor. And I take the bottom off and I blow all the dust out of it. So any remnants of dust are not there. That's every 6 months. But I wipe it down and clean all the parts and stuff, usually once a year. And if you don't want to do it yourself, I would say take it to a reputable sewing machine dealer and or repair shop.
Do you ever dare take your long arm apart?
I would take my own long arm apart if I knew how, because the long arm doesn't have screws and pieces you can take off like these machines do. But if my long arm needed to be fixed, other than the fact that it has a warranty, so right now I won't touch it because it's warranted. But if it wasn't warranted, yeah, I'll take it apart and fix what I can. Can't be that hard, right? I mean, really. It's the same mechanics as a regular sewing machine. There's a belt in there and so on and so forth. Oops. I broke my thread. Where am I? Oh, right there in front of my face. In the hole. Oh my goodness, come on. I try to thread it manually, but I was thinking this time too, when I was done cleaning the machine, I was like, why didn't I unhook it? I was going to unhook the threader, the, finger, press the button down and thread the jukey kind of thing. I was going to unhook that. And I was like, wait a second, I forgot to do something. I was going to take it apart from inside the machine because this thing is basically pointless for me. I never use the threader on here because I have never been able to get it every single time. I get it like once a year. I could thread with using it, but it doesn't ever want to thread with that way. So I was going to take it out of the machine completely because I don't need it. Okay, now for my next round. See, these go pretty quick. If you're like me and you're sitting and talking through the whole thing, it seems like it's way faster than you know, when I'm not talking.
You're not talking.
It's just the pressing in between every step, you know, like the constant stopping to press and trimming the dog ears off. Like I said, you don't really have to trim them off, but I do. That way it's a lot flatter. So I just do it after every step. You don't need anything fancy or a rotor cutter to do it either. You just use some scissors. That way you don't have to get up and move around and do anything extra. You do got to remember some of these cuts are bias and some of these are not. Also, so there's a little bit of a stretch going, so sometimes your little dog ears are going to be bigger than others. There. It's a cute little block, fun to make. I like the style of it, and when they're put together, which I'll show you what they look like when a couple of them are laid out, they look really cool if you just do the snail trails on its own. And when I made the last quilt that I made using all this snail trail cut fabric, I actually made a really, really cool quilt that was all of my snails. It was a chart that I made. I made my own chart to where I had purple, green, blue, and aqua or whatever. And purple connected to the next purple. The turquoise connected to the next turquoise. Aqua connected, you know what I mean? So they all laid out properly. It was a little bit extra work to try to line them up. But it was 4 different colors per block. And yeah, came out really good. I liked it.
Ask everyone if they got their.
Did you guys, all of you that had won the 30K giveaway, did you guys all get your prizes?
We only heard from that one lady.
No, I knew like 2 or 3 people that posted that they got it. Oh. Everything should have made it to their final destinations.
By now, the last one was supposed to be there on Saturday.
All right.
That was the one going to New York. Maybe the only one lady was on here. That one's the one.
Yeah. I forgot what I was going to say.
Okay. Francis got hers.
Good. I'm glad. I'm glad everybody got there. It wasn't much, obviously. It's hard for me. I like doing homemade gifts for my giveaways, so I think it's fun. But I'm glad everybody got their homemade items. Table runners and bowl cozies and what else did I send out? Oven mitt set.
And pot holders.
And pot holders, yes. Oh, and the little baggie. I didn't know who, I don't remember who got what because the packages, we didn't know, but somebody got a little prototype purse it's not a purse, it was supposed to be like a makeup holding bag or a supplies holding bag. I was trying to come up with something and it was supposed to look like overalls, but the front didn't come out like I wanted. So I was like, I'll just throw that in the giveaway. I'm glad everybody got their prizes. All right, last 2 pieces. Just lining it up. And if you wanted to center it, you can, but also on these, there should be 1/4 inch of your triangle piece on either side, so both sides right here, and your needle should land starting in the 1/4 inch and ending in the points of the triangles. So you'll know that your piece is center if your needle is landing in that groove at the start and at the stop. So literally, it's sewn on there, you can see those two little pieces hanging out, which we're going to cut off, but you can see that it's sewn where it started the thread right there and ended the thread in that little V area. Purple, way over there. How to get over there, I don't know. Must have laid it out really wide. All right, that's another block down. Four, there we go. Trying to clean these up every time or else they end up all over my floor, which two little pieces fell on the floor. All right, so there's a purple and blue block. And when you lay them out, let's lay quite a few out so you can get the general idea here. And you guys are on a totally different tripod. My daughter gave me some stuff, so I've been able to got you guys on a new tripod that does not have a moving handle.
Did I get to iron anything yet?
Let's grab some of these flat ones so they can see.
Did I get to iron anything yet?
Yeah, iron all these. These are not ironed. So, this is what a snail trail. I need the computer out of this way though.
You just wait because you killed my cord. We'll wait if you jump on top of it.
All right, so I'm going to lay these out so that you guys can kind of see a general idea. And since they're small blocks, I should be able to line them up right here and then move the camera to show you what they look like. I realize I have a lot of gray. They look so cool. Oops. But since I'm going to be doing snails at sea, it's going to look a little bit different than what I'm showing you. But this is the general idea of it.
Okay, which one's iron now?
They're up there.
Oh. Just these?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
And let's lay that one on here, and then I'll pan the camera so that you guys can see. This is what a snail trail looks like when it's put together. So that is what it looks like. No. So that is what I've done before in the past is every one of these was a different color. And then it matched up to a different color. So every single one of the, where you would see black, it was all, say, turquoise. And then the next one was blue. And then the next one was purple. And then the next, so they were all lined up. And for snails at sea, in between all the blocks is going to have a rectangle sashing that's going to have just random colors like these come out the corners like the storm at sea. So in between every single one will be a sashing, so the corners will have corresponding colors, any other colors, you know what I'm saying. And then cornerstones will be a square and a square in a square block. Although I think I'm only going to do square and a square only. But that's what the snail trail looks like. All right, let's put you guys back right here. But doesn't it look super cool? Yes, it does.
I don't know what they're called. I guess because I've never seen the movie.
Yeah, Scott's never seen Nightmare Before Christmas, so he doesn't know what you guys are talking about. But yes, that's what it looks like. So I'm just going to make a ton of blocks. I don't know how. I'm just going to use. I'm out of pieces. Once there's going to be some of these piles, like you can see right here. Each block only uses one of these. So I can make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I can make 9 more blocks from this color. So everything that's left over, all these, because there's so many of some of the numbers, because what I made before required different amounts. So anything that's left, I'll make half square triangles and make a totally different quilt with. But for now, I know that I can get 9 more blocks from this. So once I run out of a size of any of the sizes on all these piles, then I know I'm done. And that's what I'm going to start working with. And then in my other tray, which is way over there, Scott has it, that has all the parts and pieces, which are the other leftovers that I'm going to be making the sashing and cornerstones with.
Okay, can you show them what you mean by cut on the diagonal twice and once?
Yeah.
You mean the half
Let me write it.
triangle?
I'll show you guys right now.
Use both sides.
And if you don't pay attention, you can put it wrong. So that's the boo-boo block, and I saved the boo-boo block as a boo-boo block until the very end so that you guys can see. It can get messed up if you're not paying attention.
What's wrong with it?
The center. See, they're supposed to come and create a circle. This one's off. This one's supposed to be here. It's one flip over. You got messed up.
Oh, I wouldn't even notice that.
Yeah, some people probably
You're right,
won't.
I see it now that you pointed it
Yeah.
out.
And then here's all my leftovers so you guys can see. So, let me take a piece of paper. Where'd my paper pad go?
This big one?
Yeah, can I have it, please? Thank you. There you go. All right, I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about here for the measurements. I just need this, and I need this because it's all on the black. Hi, Mom. If you guys didn't know, that my mom does come on and watch. So, for A and F pieces, so when I say cut on the diagonal, don't mind my drawing. So for pieces A and F, they are cut on the diagonal twice. So here was the square right there. Twice means on both sides of the diagonal. Okay? And then B and G is 3 and 7/8. And that is cut on the diagonal once. Obviously, my squares are not very good squares. I already told you guys I cannot draw for the life of me anymore. Then C and H is cut on the diagonal twice, and that's 2 and 3/4. I'm going to just write the other ones down so I can hold this up for you guys, and then I'll draw a little chart. And then you guys can screenshot that. D and I are once, 2 and 3/8, and then E and J is a 1 and 1/2 inch square. So here are the cuts. Hold that there for a second. Obviously, that's a square, not a rectangle. I just cannot draw squares on the fly. And then the block is laid out like this. So I'm just going to draw. Let's see how good I can draw this. And then put the letters. Okay, so this is E, J, E, J. No, I don't. And then C and H are this little one. C, H, C, H. And just know C and H is the same piece. E and J are the same piece. Just depends on where you want your color. And then D and I. All this, D, I, D, I. And then A, F, A, F. And then one more time. Oops. I really cannot draw. B and G. B and G. So there is the chart. Obviously, I drew that really funky. That's actually straight right there. I really suck at drawing this. So that's how the block is laid out. So B and G are the same exact piece. They're cut exactly the same way. A and F are the same exact way. D and I are same exact. C and H are the same exact piece, cut the same way. And E and J are cut the same exact piece. The only reason why I have these lettered by the alphabet is because the way I was laying mine out. So these 4 squares right here are either a J piece or an E piece. So you can have them opposite. So you can say that these are the J, and J sits next to a H right here. So that way you can always make sure. That's why I lettered them. But that's what it is, and then so on and so forth. So here's the layout. If I had a whatchamacallit, it would have been so much easier. So that's how it would lay out, just like that. That way if you guys want to screenshot that after, because 90% of I don't ever make patterns for you guys. And here's the cuts one more time. And the next block I will put together literally by bringing the camera to the front so that you guys can see. So let me grab some pieces of stuff that's already right here in front of me.
You want to tell me what colors in your block?
I'm using, what do you mean? All these colors? I just did this with my colors. I put a piece of the fabric right here so that I knew what color for my color chart, because I had a color chart originally. 2 of these. I need 2 of these. 2 of these. I'm going to bring the camera around though so that you guys can see. And 2 of these. Just move that out of the way. No. Let me choose my pieces. So 1 of those. 1, 1, and 1. And then we'll do this color because it's right here next to me. That way I can. One of those. Okay. We're going to go for a trip. Yep. Camera is moving. There we are on my side. I don't have a way to turn you guys perfectly. We're going to come right here so that you can see me sew and see. Again, this is a new mount, so we're just going to keep you right here so that you can see right here. And just because, I'm just going to put the charts there because I can't do it on the fly. These right here are J, so if you want your background to be your J pieces, then have your background and then your colors as your E pieces. So J and E is exactly the same. So on the sides right here, this way, in this direction, is the camera seeing right here? Yes, it is. Okay, good. In this direction, we're going to have, oops, here's my other little one, C and H. So you can make E and H the same colorway. So E would be H, and then we would have F and B, or whatever. You know what I mean? So it goes like this. So your blue would always touch it, not on this side, because it would be going the opposite direction. It would go down on this side so that they all go the same direction. You want to create a spin, okay? So then your next pieces are going to be D and, oops, that side, D and I. So this would be here, that would be there, that would be there, and that would be there, just like this, okay? So you can see it's following the chart. And then your next size is your F and A pieces. So again, if this is going this direction, that would be here, and that would be here. So these guys would go on the opposite corners. So you're creating a circle. And then your B and G pieces. So you can make this B if you want. Oops, wrong side, goes here. And then this goes here. So you're creating this circular path, just like this. So your background is going to circular path, and your color pieces are going to make a circular path. So we're going to take the E or J, whatever you want to call it, that's the same letter, it's the same piece. Oops, come on, stay right there. We're going to sew these right here, leaving that on the machine and right sides together and grabbing the bottom ones so you can see. And then I'm going to finger press them towards my background, which is black. If your other colors are darker, press it towards that. They're together. The seams are nesting. They're in opposite directions, as you can see. We're going to sew that together. And then I'm going to finger press it, just like this. You can see my little nested seam right there. You can see they come together beautifully. Then you would just take it and put it back where it goes so that you know you got it in the right direction. You're going to start with your background first. So my background would be my black. I'm going to lay it on here, lining that point up right here. So the pieces that I'm adding are the C or H piece. Just lining that up. Pressing it back. I'm going to grab the opposite side because I already know that that goes there. I'm going to line that tip of the triangle up with the seam, and then the other side with the side of the block. And then I'm going to finger press that back. I'm going to cut away these on both sides. Just going to toss that down there. I'm going to place it back where it goes so you can tell right here. You'll get it out of order if you have the wrong color. That's why I said this would also look really cool scrappy. If you take all your scraps and just start, cutting some squares out and then cutting the squares down, it would look really cool. But that's how you know you have it out of order. So I want my purple to be here, my aqua to be here. So I'm going to put my purple on first because it's convenient. It's right there.
The finished size of the block.
6.5 inches is what this block will finish at. So again, I'm just lining it up. Oops. Out of bobbin this time. Look at that. No, it did come unthreaded. Can't be out of bobbin. I'm having thread breakage issues too. That's because I haven't got my machine back to 100% of where it was. Oh my goodness, come on. I'm talking about tension, by the way, guys, because I literally turned the disc open so that I can clean inside the discs. So that is why I'm saying I haven't got it back to the way I like it yet, as I took it completely apart. And yeah, okay, let's put this back under here. See, it's doing that tensiony thing again. Oh no, it was still good. It just sounded weird. Okay, so that's on that side. I know that the other one goes on the other side now. I'll go right here. So you can see I'm lining that up with the seam. The seam has become my centering for that. Okay, and I'm going to cut away all all these pieces around it, just like that. And then we're going to lay it back where it goes. So it's going to go this way, just like that. So then I'm going to take my dark or my black, and now it's not, has no seam to land on, but you know that this is the center right here. So you're just going to center that little piece up with the center of the block. Or you can fold it in half and find the center of both pieces. But it's easier this way. What is making that weird noise?
I don't know, but I hear it too.
It's having a day. I'm telling you guys, my Juki is just getting old. So I'm going to take this other one because I already know that the black goes on opposite sides of each other. Sounds like it's coming from the bobbin area. All right.
That's what I was thinking. Is it getting low?
Could be. I did freshly clean it all, so it's making all new sounds again because it's like new. So that goes like this. You can see. So now we know that this one goes here because it matches that purple. So it obviously goes on this side. And then the green, I know, is going to go on this side. So you can also see my stitches start in this right here, in that piece. I'm using black thread so that you can see. They start in the little V that's created at the top and bottom of the block. Yeah, that's definitely in the bobbin area, that sound. And 4. So again, this is the way the block goes, so I lay it back to where it goes, or once you're used to it, you won't have to lay it back every time. You just know that the color goes on the correct side. So now I'm going to take my black and put that on both sides first, and then come back and do the next one. So this round is going to land on that seam again. So the point of my triangle is on the center seam, right? So like I said, every other round ends up on that seam. Yeah, black go on the opposite side. One of these days, so you know, these blocks do take a while to make. So one of these years, I'm going to make a scrappy version. I think that would be super cool. Unless you guys want to make a scrappy version and then show it to me. Or maybe you've already made one. I don't know. So you could either lay it back and go, oh, that's the way it goes, because there's no way to mess this up unless you put it on the wrong side like this. This is how it lays. That's what creates another square. You're just creating a square and a square and a square and a square and a square. That's all you're doing until it's complete. So again, my purple tip right here of my triangle is going to land on that seam. That's how I know it's center. Fold it back, grab that opposite side because it's the only place you can put it. Cut these off. All it's doing, cutting all those off, is stopping you from having a ton of bulk right here behind your piece. So instead of having all that there, it's nice and flat and flush. So again, I'm just going to lay it right here. It's the only way it can go, since you can't lay it like this. It's the only way it can go. So if you scooted these closer, like this, it creates another square. So that's how you know it's in the right spot. So again, I'm just going to add my blacks on either side. This side is the side that does not have a seam, so you match it with the point of your triangle with the center right here. And you can also see that there's a 1/4 inch-ish on either side of the block itself.
Are you doing these sew-along blocks?
No, I am not doing this next sew along. I'm doing I'm still, you know, doing the 4-star general one. I made videos for it, but I'm actually starting something new. I can't tell you guys what it is at this time, but I will be telling you very shortly soon. Something that you guys have not seen very much of on my channel is what we're going to be doing next as a sew-along. All right, so I don't even have to go back right here because I automatically know that the purple is going here and this one's going here. So this is either your B or G fabric. That's the last ones that go around. And I'm just going to put it right here on the center, line it up. This edge right here is a bias edge, by the way, because this square was cut on the diagonal one time. So the center of it is, so if you need to kind of adjust it a little bit, it's definitely got a little bit of room for that.
You cut the outer pieces larger so you can trim down?
No, they're just the right size. If you want to trim everything down, you still can. It's still big enough. There's still room. But this makes a 6.5-inch block. So this one's going on this side. Right there. Yeah, I think it's my bobbin. That's what's doing this, that weird sound. And then I just go ahead and trim off these 4 pieces because all of my blocks have been coming out the same exact size because I'm sewing them exactly the same. So they've all been pretty much 6.5 inches. So there is my block. It's not pressed right now, but it'll get pressed later. I'm not worried about it. And just clean up
Want me to iron it?
all my little pieces. Oh, it's fine. We're good. Just like that. And there is a snail trail block. So that's how it's made. So the measurements again. So for these center pieces right here, E and J, it's a 1.5-inch square. So you need 4 1.5-inch squares for the center. Whatever colors you want them to be, you need 4 of them. So that if you want J to be your background and E to be your color, you can do that. Then the first round, these little ones all the way around, this first round is H and C. H and C are 2 3/4-inch squares cut on the diagonal 2 times. So both diagonals. That's the first round. Then the second round is D and I. So D and I originally, so that's this round right here, were 2 3/8-inch squares, and they were cut on the diagonal once. Okay, so these ones were cut on the diagonal once. Then the next round is F and A. So this round right here is A and F. F and A. F and A were 4 1/4-inch squares cut on the diagonal twice, and they go around here. And then the last is B and G. So this last round was letters B and G. So this could be your B and this could be your G, however you guys want to do it. And those are 3 7/8 cut on the diagonal one time. So that's how it's made. And then here would be the chart like that. And this is the block. So that's how it's made. All right. So now that that is done, and then you can see that they would line up together. I'm just going to lay these. Sorry, my head is in the camera. You guys get a nice gray hair shot of me because I'm getting more gray than I used to have. And then when you lay them out,
beautiful.
This is what you would get. So every time you put 4 together, you could have them like this. No matter which way you do it, it's always going to come with color, and then the next stage would be with the black like this, and then the next one would be color. But they'll bounce around, so that's the look you will get every time you put 4 pieces together. And like I said, I'm doing snails at C, so mine is going to be different. It's going to have sashing and look a whole lot different. So let me take the camera and put it back on the other side. Camera is moving right here. And we're going to tip you guys back up real quick. Alexa, want to come say hi on camera? Hold on, let me come over there close to you with the microphone because we're going to be getting off here in a minute. So you can come say hi. Tip it up just a little bit more. I guess I'm going to use the other one because this mount is not great for this. Maybe for a different area.
You can always keep it next.
All right, here is Alexa, my daughter that's moving to Tennessee. Oh my goodness, like literally, she's moving far away and she's leaving Thursday morning. So until Thursday morning, she's here with me.
Yeah.
We have 2 queen-size beds in my room, my normal bed and a queen-size blow-up air mattress that she actually likes. She thought it was going to go flat, but it didn't.
Yeah. Stayed pretty firm.
Yeah, it's a nice air mattress that I got. I got a queen-size blow-up air mattress with the built-in blow-up thing that's built onto the bed, and it has
Hello, everybody.
a thing that you can go up and down with, like a little button to let air in or out. I got it for $3 at the thrift store. Like a while back, but yeah. Anyways, so this is my daughter who's moving away. So all of you guys that are near Tennessee, in Tennessee, or in those states, Virginia,
East Virginia. Not,
West Virginia,
West-
Kansas, no, Kentucky, Tennessee. I'm trying to think of all the states
oh,
that are right
South
there.
Carolina, right?
South Carolina, yeah.
All the
All the states that are North Carolina, if you guys are all right there, she's going to be near you.
I don't know if Tennessee's near North and South Carolina.
Yeah, it is.
Near North Carolina.
I don't know.
Near North Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to be visiting a friend in North Carolina.
I was stationed in North
But-
Carolina, but I don't know where Tennessee
Anyway.
is.
Well, I am done. I'm so done.
Are you
It
going
is
to
time.
Missouri? Kim wants to know.
I'm not sure. I could check.
She has her drive all mapped out. She's going to a Renaissance festival on her way to where she's moving in Tennessee.
Let's see.
Where's your Renaissance festival?
Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky. I don't know what that one is. Let me see. No. I
You're
don't
going through
think so.
Arizona, New Mexico. What's that? Oklahoma.
Yeah. I'm going through quite a bit. But
Yeah. And then she'll be going to a Renaissance festival.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kansas City.
And Kansas City. So Kansas City, Missouri. Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
Is where
What
she's going to be
quilt is
doing.
Alexa taking with her?
I'm taking an around the world with me that she made for my 18th birthday.
Yep. She has her around the world quilt. It's I don't know. I made it for her 18th birthday, so that's a long time ago because she's 23 now. Yeah. She didn't like it at first totally because it's got heavy
Heavy
quilting.
quilting.
I heavily quilted it, and that was when this was on a frame actually, and I heavily quilted it, and she was like, "This is so stiff." I was like, "Wash it a few times. It'll be fine." She washed it a few times. It's not like perfect or anything, but
It's a pretty good quilt.
it's a good quilt.
I love it. So
Yeah, that's the one. But I'm going to be making her a new one anyway because she has her fabrics here, and when I get a chance, I'm going to sew a pattern together with her fabrics. So for
I'll
her.
watch that entire stream.
Yep.
We do it on more videos.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to get off of here and say my goodbyes. But thank you, Alexa, for coming in and saying hi.
I'm gonna go to dinner.
Okay. She's going to go hang out with her brother. So anyway, thank you guys all for hanging out and learning how to make a snail trail block. Again, these are just, I throw these in randomly because this literally sits on the shelf right under my legs and I'm always bumping it with my knees. So I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to make these. Even if I only get 2 or 3 done at a time. So that's it. So thank you guys all for hanging out today. Hopefully you guys got some sewing done or whatever it is while hanging out. And I will see you in my next video, which will be next Sunday, because I've been busy helping Lexa, so I haven't been doing any filming or anything. So you guys are just getting sew Sundays from me because
You
I
never
haven't.
know, you might be on
I might do a
one day.
long arm video or something,
You
or
might
I don't
be
know.
on.
But
You never know.
we'll see. But right now it's mainly helping her get everything situated. So, all right, Scotty, will you press the button? Bye, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Good night. Get some sleep for all of you on the East Coast. Bye.